Yeah. But it's all right. It's half an hour until the time of the solstice. And this time last year, somebody paid, or some people, or some entity paid some other people to try to unalive me. And so, if you didn't succeed last year, you haven't succeeded at any point in the past, and you have actually made quite a lot of effort as well. So you'll have to try again next year. And I will just say that the number of suicides that happen, or death by reported suicides, peak in March and in June, and both of those months are equinoxes, solstice. And I was trying to explain to Keith, because he didn't know this, that equinox is a prime time for people to be unalived according to the satanic calendar. And so that's why I think there's a peak in suicides in those months, because people have been suicided. And obviously last year you underestimated the amount of fentanyl that it would take to cause me death, because I've been taking opiates on prescription pills, morphine, tramadol, codeine, dihydrocodone, and the whole shebang for about 15 years plus. So, you just underestimated what it would take to kill me, or you didn't get enough into me. And also, did you infect me with a bacteria called streptococcus or strep something pneumonia? Because I had the most horrendous sinus infection in June last year. And although I got sick the December before, really the June was when the sinus infection was at maximum. And I was taking this product, which I'm going to go there. Because of that sinus infection, because of not being able to basically get any healthcare on the NHS, I was taking 5 of these 5 times a day. And also had a root canal done from where I'd interrupted my neighbour at number 19 Surrey House. I lived at number 18. It says 19 on the Google page. His grandson, the child's father, his son, and the child's son, Joe, was sat there doing nothing about it. And I heard a commotion next door. It was in November or December 2020. Somebody just got their driving license. Basically, it's been going on for about 3 days. And I was in Hartem, and this guy was doing this, and somebody was shouting, "You fucking wanker," at him, because he's quite annoying. The kids were staying at number 19 with Steve Newlands. Joe was in the room, because it's a one-room apartment, literally one room, and they were having parties at the weekends. And I went and I knocked on the door, and Steve answered. He was pulling up his pants as he came to the door, and then he bounced back from the bathroom and fucking headbutted me and got that tooth. And it needed a root canal, but it wasn't done until last year, 4 years later. So that also contributed to the whole sinus problem. So I did get that sorted, but I was taking 5 times a day. These are high strength garlic capsules. And if they don't smell of garlic, then there's no point in taking them. These smell of garlic. And I was taking them for my chest, because the sinus and chest infection, after that, attempted murder, overdose by fentanyl, which maybe they injected me because I had 3 scratch marks on my arm. 1, 2, 3, where 3 guys accosted me. Just to recap, Somebody was playing a guitar extremely badly outside of my home on the street. They'd done it twice before. They were only there for half an hour. It really irritated me. It was just like a discordant thing, just over and over again. It wasn't a song. You couldn't stand there and do that for too long before somebody would come to their senses and notice, but it was outside my home. So on the third occasion, which happened to be the solstice, which I didn't really twig until afterwards, I went outside and I saw the guy and I kind of rushed him. And I said at the time, I said, this is the worst guitar playing that I've ever heard in my life. And then just so happened that there was a guy in a high vis next to him. And he kind of grabbed me and I said, you're not a real busker. And I said, you're not a real security guard. What busker has a security guard next to him? And then all of a sudden, a third guy rushed me, grabbed me, was grappling me, and then just released me. And I walked away over this way. And I thought, oh my God, I can't believe I've just walked away. Maybe I was going to get arrested. I was the one that was going to get in trouble. And within 2-3 minutes, I came up on the most amount of drugs that I've never taken in my life. So assumed fentanyl, but perhaps they also infected me with pneumonia at that time, because I certainly was ill for a very, 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 very long time. And I think I now don't have pneumonia, although I've not had my sputum retested since I've had 2 courses of antibiotics. Well, however, anyway, and also the time that they did that attack was literally like an hour before the solstice time on the 20th of June last year. So they really timed it to coincide with the solstice. And then, oh, look, it's been an overdose. It would just be written up as an overdose that I had taken, because it would have just come up as opiates, which I take on prescription anyway, and no one would have been any the wiser. And then what as a result was that I started to live stream again, which I hadn't been doing up until that point. So whatever it is, using your proper name, which means no name, Satan, whatever it is, whoever it is that you get to do your dirty work, whatever lies you tell, it only, whatever what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It just led to more good stuff. And I've told this story before, and all right, not everyone seems to know what's going on, but that's the fact. So now the solstice is approximately 25 minutes away, and I'm still here. You'll have to try again next year, won't you? And that ain't no permission or nothing, is it? I'm just saying, try again next year. I think, to be honest, we're on target for next year. 10 years ago, 2016, I had a dream that I was running across a field. This is the abridged version. I didn't know what we were running away from. I looked over my shoulder. There's a guy with a gun, like an Algerian police officer with a gun, running away. And then I turned around again and running, and they shot me through the heart. Dun, 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 to the. Now I might just have a heart attack as a consequence of having a Pfizer. Maybe. I'd like to say I'll still be alive to reject the microchip. I don't need a fucking microchip in my hand. That's intrusive. I don't need to put the internet inside of my body. The universe is already inside of me. I don't need to also put the internet inside of me. But a lot of people have got to die in order to have the rest of the people be able to be microchips, because otherwise there's not enough bandwidth. And that came from Elon Musk himself, who may or may not be my half brother. He's still my brother, whether he's my half brother or not. Call him bro. He looks quite a lot like my dad. As ultra possibly got a lot of just the thing about it is my granddad would have whatever. I don't even know. I'm celebrating being alive. That's the main thing. Hello, people. There's a link in the description to join me. Why is there like a glare? Where's that glare coming from? Don't be shy. Have a try. Another text on my phone. You're the last one. I can't hear your tone. It's not. Hello. Apparently, there's Club Labyrinth. Club Labyrinth is always doing stuff, but maybe there's something happening in Hackney in July, and I'd really like to be there. Have Kev live, and next year there will be lights out. I'm sure of it because I had this dream 2016. I'm running away, I get shot through the heart, and I perish. Well, actually, my soul left my body and went into the next world because our souls are indestructible and eternal by nature. That means you're going to live forever, even when the body perishes. You'll come into your fullness. So it's nothing to be scared of. It's just so basically you can't kill me. Is the long and the short of it. So I know this seems a little gratuitous to go live 3 times in one night. It's just that this is a particular thing where this time last year someone tried to kill me and they didn't estimate correctly how much fentanyl they had to give me. I've taken 2 huge opiate overdoses in my life and survived both of them. So, you know, I don't know why there's a glare coming off of the thing. I don't like it. Hello, hello. But I have no way to set, and this phone is fucking hell. It's so hot. You should feel my phone. Like most of the data is turned off for most of the apps. I swear to God, if you felt this phone right now, you could seriously cook an egg on it. Hello. I know. They keep coming and going. It's all right. I'm just celebrating being alive. Why my thing? You can't see it. Now the light's behind us. I'm alive, the man with a second face, and I'm ready you to rock the place real heavy. So come on, you know what the nose is. Hey, look at this card. My daughter sent me this. Mama, now if I perish, what's going to happen to Amy? And apparently, after her from the heavens. I really don't want Amy to be alone in this world. But really, when you have a child, whether they are with you or wherever, they are, they're just released into the world. What control have you really got? But if she lived at home, she would not go online unsupervised. Zero amount of time on the internet unsupervised. That is how you should be raising your children. Do not let them go on the internet unsupervised. And when you come offline, because your time is up, you keep a journal. in case she got in any harm with me, to reach Tony Blair's adoption targets, because they said, oh, Tony Blair's government said there's 600,000 children in foster care. We need to raise the number of adoptions. So here you go. Here's your monthly, yearly, quarterly targets to get the adoption rates up. And then after that, the adoption rates went through the roof, but exactly the same number of children were in care, because nobody who apparently is doing some altruistic thing to adopt a baby wants a teenager to adopt, or even a 5-year-old. They want a baby. They want the baby experience. And realistically, it's human trafficking. Let's be honest. That's what it is. It's taking a child for money and giving them to someone else in return for money, because when they hit their adoption targets, which they have done, they get financial bonuses. So they don't take children who are being harmed or neglected. They take those that from the mothers when they are pregnant. They come in, they didn't even wait, they didn't even give me the courtesy to wait 3 months to come in and investigate me. So I was less than 3 months pregnant, at risk of future harm. Now, let's have a look at a photograph baby from last year. Approximately 5 months pregnant there. It would have been baby would have been born about December, and then sacrificed in the December. So then you do around the solstice. You don't register the birth of the baby. You just it's disposable sacrifice to Satan to gain some power. Because I'm sorry, that looks like a pregnant child to me. So I phoned up and I made a complaint and I said she looks pregnant, or she's got a gastrointestinal problem. She very likely has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. The point is, she was sent with instructions not to have too much screen time, which also would mean not too much time on the internet. Well, no supervised activities, books, and other stimulation and other guidance. While is the sort of prime time for doing human sacrifices, which is why any child born to my child by breach, by statutory rape, would never be registered as a birth. It would just, she would be disposed of. Because why is it that every case that's been reported, well, not every case of satanic ritual abuse and these things, why are they always written off as hoax? The Hampstead hoax. Well, why is it hoax? You trying to say that Satanism doesn't exist? It's just like trying to say that Islam doesn't exist or Christianity doesn't exist. If there are people that worship God, whether Christian, Muslim, whatever it is, how is it that there's not alternately people that worship Lucifer or worship Satan, worship the devil? Which are those are all fake, are they? So the social services called me back after 4 weeks, and all they said was she doesn't have a gastrointestinal problem. They didn't confirm that they'd been round to make sure that there's no sexual abuse going on. They just said she doesn't have a GI problem. And why is it that 11 years later, I still give a shit every single day? And why is it they weren't interested in investigating my allegations of sexual abuse, but they were interested in taking a child and placing her with another family in case of future harm? I don't have a huge portion of doubt, perhaps 5%, that my child is not being raped. I maybe have a 5% portion of doubt that she's not. As in, I'm 95% certain that my child, who was taken through the secret family UK courts and adopted at risk of future harm, has in fact been passed into the hands of active pedophiles, because there is a difference between someone who is sexually attracted to children, who doesn't act out on it, that doesn't watch child porn, that has safe boundaries, that is self-aware, and is under some kind of supervision, whether it's a therapist or whatever it is, or friends and family, in effect is out, but it will not offend. There is a huge difference between a pedophile and a child molester. In fact, a child molester doesn't even need to be a pedophile. That's not a necessary precursor to harming a child. You understand? They might fuck anything, pulse, no pulse. They don't have to be a pedophile to abuse a child. So you may well have a pedophile, and there are cases of these people, I think they call themselves virtuous pedophiles, that are non-offensive, non-abusive, self-aware, self-controlled, one would hope do not allow themselves to watch child pornography, whether it's AI generated or not, as in they don't feed the monkey, and they don't. So all this throwing around of the word pedophile actually it's not really effective. It's someone that's committing a crime is a criminal. Anyway, I have 95% sure that my child is being raped in care as an adopted child. So if I am to pass away before she finds me, turns 18 and finds me, because I'm not going to be able to find her, and apparently it's very difficult for adopted children to find their birth family, it may be the case that I'm not here for her to find. I have to be honest, that gives me cause for grief. I don't want to die next year. I would like to sell my home, pay my debts, use that money in different ways other than it just sitting in bricks and mortar. Yes, it'd be better for me to sell next year. I'd probably get a better price, but I'm pay for some medical treatment. I can see my internet getting extremely weird and laggy. We are at the point of the equinox. Children's Inn is closed. Happy solstice. And East Hertfordshire Social Services had to remove their Google page in about 2016 because so many people had written on there that they were child trafficking, moving a person from one place to another for money. And nearly 99% of these social workers were not parents. They were not mothers. Had no idea of the transformative experience of becoming a parent, especially a mother. But I prayed for Amy as a pregnant mum. I never stopped loving her, ever. Not for one moment. I stopped loving my child. She is also her dad's daughter, Andrew Murphy, although he's not on the birth certificate. And she's not alone. She's a highly connected individual who intuitively recognizes the oneness of mankind, which means, ergo, treat each other fairly and kindly, and with love and respect, and your own personal boundaries, very importantly. But the East Hertfordshire District Social Services, for one, or Children's Services, as it's somewhat ironically named, had so many Google reviews calling them out for child trafficking that they had to remove their Google page in about 2016. And the number of adoptions has gone through the roof because they adopt babies who they consider are not being neglected, who they consider at risk of future harm. And all the children who have been neglected or are being neglected and or abused are taken into foster care and you generally remain in foster care. And the number of adoptions has actually increased by 40%. The price of gold has gone up by 40%. And in approximately very, very similar timeline, the number of adoptions and the price of gold parallel. So something worth thinking about. Why would you want to have excessive amounts of wealth and just keep them in accounts? Why not do charitable acts? I mean, genuinely invest in your community. If you have enough money that you can store it away in property, land, gold, silver, metal, Bitcoin, crypto, why not just bite the bullet and invest in local businesses and local services? Why not buy a water plant? Like, just do something other than storing it up. You know, even you guys with your underground things and your tins of food, you're going to be all right down there, are you? When the time comes. It's not exactly sharing with your neighbour, is it? It's not exactly extending your tent pegs to all go and live in an underground bunker and eat tins of tuna. And when you leave your body, you're not going to take any of the money with you. None of the gold, none of the Bitcoin, you won't be able to, if you don't want a microchip in your hands, putting the internet in your body, you won't even be able to spend any of this money after probably 2030. So why not now contribute? to local businesses, local services, local causes, local people, individuals, and put some money into some things, because most of the young people that would be doing a thing are cannabis entrepreneurs, and they might go to prison for that, you know, to be able to fund, you know, the music and the other things. Really, you know, these guys are talented and should be working with young people, but there's no funding for any of that. It really takes you to do it. Don't put all your money, don't bury it underground. You might not have very long to live, right? You might not have long. So you're not going to take any of it with you. And no one's going to remember you when you're gone anyway. So give yourself some memories. Don't bury your money in precious metals and cryptocurrencies and tins of food and underground bunkers. All right? Happy solstice. I'm pretty sure we're there at this. This is the solstice, the equinox. Hello, hello. I'm alive, the man with the second face, and I'm ready, yo, to rock the place real heavy. So come on, come on. Splash on my face. I will go. I will go unless anyone's going to join in, because the link is in the description. Otherwise, praise God, I'm still alive. I want to say actually that no, I don't want to say that right now, because I had a lot of really important things to say in this, and they're not all of them personal. Some of them are really, really, really broad, like, don't hide your money away in, if you really, really have excess wealth, consider your time so short. You're not going to take a microchip in your hands, are you? And if you're not, then your money is going to be gone, worthless, whether it's in gold, crypto, it doesn't matter. So stop hiding it away for the future and invest. Do a legacy project. And maybe it will give you a return. Maybe you've got to play a long game and say you want a return as well. Or, you know, maybe it will fail, but, you know, there must be enough. There must be enough. Because the government, they don't give a shit. Hello, Rob. They don't give a shit. They only pay themselves. So it's urgent. You're needed. There are lots of people walking around that are millionaires, and that's great. And I love you. Well done. And you deserve it. And you really did good. But you've forgotten what it's like. And I'm doing great. Bro, I'm not on like 20,000 a year just on welfare with a place to live, right? I'm doing really, really well. And the cost of living is so high that it's still, like, seriously, with my level of need, not enough. Now, fuck me, forget about me. There are so many people walking around 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20 years of age, and they're being starved. And you're going to keep all your money in precious metal and crypto? Really? We're going to remember you that way? So put your money where your mouth is. Put your back into it. Don't just die and it all just goes, lines someone else's pocket. Put it into actual businesses and people and communities, because the government isn't doing it. All right? There must be something that interests you that you want to put some money into. All right? Let's get the weights up. 1 kilogram. That's enough for me. So I stayed alive. I made it. We'll have to try again next year. Amy, if you see any of these, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. Rob, you're great. You're great fun. I better go. I'm gonna get my hair done tomorrow. And I'm really looking forward to that. It's gonna be a long time because there was so much hair to get done. But it'll be great because my big shout out, Twisted Dreadlocks in St Albans, Natalie and Enrico. Fabulous. Rob, do you wanna no, let's not do that. We've definitely survived the solstice this year. I don't have any Ubers booked tomorrow. I'm just gonna do them at the time when I need them. All right. Peace out, guys. Guys, there's only one. Me and you here. Me and you, hardcore forever. Yeah, apparently there's a labyrinth, there's constant labyrinth reunions. This guy Keith that I met tonight, he also went to Labyrinth in 1997, 98, and knew Tango and Speed Freak, aka Matt, and various other people. Didn't know me. I was a little runty thing running around. No, I will talk about what I was going to say, and that's about this whole chastity thing. Chastity being as in not having sex outside of marriage. Celibacy means you're not going to get married. You're going to remain unmarried for your whole life. Whereas chastity means that you don't have sex outside of marriage. And that's a requirement of me having joined the Baha'i faith age 27, definitely not a virgin. But any religion, it didn't matter whether it was Islam or Christianity, I was expected to not have sex outside of marriage, before marriage, or with anyone else once in marriage. And no one is doing that. And like I said, I was definitely not a virgin when I joined in at 27. And so, at the age of 44, after having been sexually active for like 40 years and being a wanker as well, so I do have a partner, which I'm very happy with my choice. I broke up with him over a year ago because I stopped smoking weed and I just wanted him to stop as well. So, and there was a couple of other things as well to do with money and so on and, whatever. But ultimately, I stopped smoking weed and so I broke up with him. But it's never stopped bothering me because I felt that I was rejected, like he chose this over that. But I really did, just expected him to. I was being unreasonable because obviously I needed some time, and it's been over a year since I smoked weed. I have this wonderful, fabulous oil instead that goes in my coffee, goes in my face, and everywhere. I don't set fire to herbs. So I saw him last night. You know what I mean when I'm just not being... Because what, am I gonna just not get married? What if I live another 40 years? I'm just gonna be a 80-year-old wanker, am I? Nobody that is getting married, let alone not having sex before they get married. So maybe for me, the middle way is I have my local guy, I call him my local guy, and I don't mean I have someone everywhere. I mean, just he's my local guy, and I'm really happy with my choice. And we'll see him again, and that's all good because but the thing about it is, he was saying to me, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. I don't think he will. That it's not that he doesn't believe in God, but he doesn't believe in religion, and that's actually fine. I think that's the gist of it. And I kind of know a bit about his background and why that is, but because we have mingled our souls together, he's going to live forever. Like I said, the soul is indestructible. So I'm his reminder that he's going to live forever. And maybe we will be together forever. Who knows? I don't know. Well, that was last night, not tonight. That was last night. It was fun, I mean, as in, I enjoyed myself, is what I mean to say. And so There's all that good stuff. Come on, guys. I need to have a partner. And not a one night stand or, oh, I just met you, blah, blah, blah. But we've known each other for like something like 6 years. We were dating for like 3 months before we slept together. And then about 2 weeks later, I broke up with him because I wanted to stop smoking cannabis. Well, I've done that now. And okay, maybe, you know, whatever. I don't know what else to say about that. It never stopped bothering me. I mean, I spat gum in his head. I got barred from Cafe Nero for starting scenes outside because of him, or I was having to ignore him, and it wasn't good. This like a year and a half ago. Like, I don't think either of us was in a good headspace. Things are okay now, and you know, I'm fairly easy to satisfy. You don't have to put too much effort in it. It's good. It's good. Same my age, he's 5 years older than me, I should say. And he looks like the devil. So he looks like Puck. And it's like we both got this similar nose situation. All right. I'm into it. I'm into guys. I'm into all sorts of things, but I'm into guys like this. Beefcake type. And looks a bit older than he's like 6 years older than me, but he's the daddy. This is just inappropriate. I don't know why. I'm just still blathering. I think I should go. This was really long, wasn't it? This seems like a really long live stream. Happy everything. Okay. So many lights on at the moment. You guys don't get a word in edgewise, do you? I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to go and get my hair done. And I'm going to survive the solstice. And I'm going to take the middle way because I can't. It's unreasonable for me to just be such a wanker, isn't it? Like, and just what am I wishing on a star? Like, one day someone's going to want and just have a white wedding, what, with a 46-year-old woman? Be realistic. I might not be married, but it seems more reasonable to me, I have to be honest, to be with Justin than to just be a wanky, wanky, wanker. Right, said that 6 different ways. I'm happy with my choice. I pursued him anyway, so I love a good bear hug. Good stuff. Anyone want to say anything? All right, well, I'll go. Yeah, I probably could say more things about religion. Like, I will practice, like my daily devotionals, which there's not a huge requirement on me, but the requirement to do every day. And then say something happens and maybe one day rolls into another and I miss a bit. And then it's really easy to get out of the loop, I think, because I wasn't raised doing it or something. But I feel like probably, look, I don't even know. Probably I've had a bit too much to drink. That's the reality of it. Just if I had to be, okay, this is really the end of this. I'm actually really tired as well. I just wish we all lived in one. Well, we do all live in the same place, don't we? I think it's definitely my time to go. I don't even know where I am anymore. Good. Well, I'm a good girl. That's the main thing. You haven't killed me yet. Yay! Whee! Do-do-do-do-do. I'll see you guys after I've had my hair done tomorrow. I'll say hello. And again, shout out Twisted Dreadlocks in St Albans. They are a lovely, lovely couple and look after me. So, yes. All right. Well, I just have to end this, don't I? So, goodbye. God bless you. And Rob, I'll speak to you soon anyway. So.